Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Takanson. So this video is more or less like an impromptu. I don't even know where I'm looking, but whatever. So hey guys, welcome to Takanson. So for this video, I was inspired to do this video after watching a YouTube channel about the whole Okada ban, that is motorcycle ban in Lagos, Nigeria. So one of the things, I was just watching it with interest and I wasn't really paying so much attention to it until I heard that they have banned tricycles, that's their Keke Na Pep, and Okada. Okada is motorcycle, is a nickname for motorcycle ride, and these are means of transportation for many Nigerians. So to go to their everyday, either a job, school, whatever, is another means of transportation, as well as taxi, bus, train, car, and private cars, and all those other things. So I think one of the main reasons for doing this video is in the video I was watching, I see Abisola, can't remember her name properly. In that video I was watching, she mentioned about how they should have prepared people for it, and I totally agree with her. I believe they should have prepared the public as well as the people that own the car, those means of transportation, or do use it as a business. They would have prepared them and giving them alternatives before banning it. So everything that she said in that video, I agree. So I'll print the link of the lady I'm talking about on this particular issue. So why am I even doing this video? Is because in that same video, she showed a video of I guess maybe a minister of transport or something like that, who was justifying the reason for the short unnoticed ban. From what I hear, it may have been given like 2 weeks before they even banned the whole, like a whole state. It's like banning the whole England from traveling with transport, even bigger than England anyways. It's like banning the whole UK from traveling with motorcycle. Imagine that, motorcycle ban in UK. That would be that would be something. Anyways, so why am I doing this video? It's because in that video the man said something which she said when he was justifying himself. He says in other major cities no one has tricycles and motorcycles as a means of transportation in major cities around the world. And then this is what he did that really made me want to do this video. He said, you go to cities like London, US, New York, just mentioned some several cities that are all in the Western world. Okay, let me take a breather. Is there anything wrong mentioning all these things? Yes. These places, yes. I just think for me, I find that in Nigeria, maybe it's not just in Nigeria. I don't think it's Nigeria that have this sickness. There is this big issue, I find, that whenever they are doing anything, they like to compare themselves to the Western world. Yes, it's good to have a goal or people that inspires you to want to do better. But you cannot be using the Western world to compare and contrast yourself when you have not gotten to that stage by any means of any means of imagination yet. How can you compare yourself to London? Do you know how many years it took to make the transportation system as it is in London? Do you know how many years, how many sweats, and I bet how many deaths that it took to have undergrounds in London? Do you know how many people are employed? Do you know how many buses? Do you know how many trains that I put in place to make sure that the city moves? Now, before anything that is changed in UK, at least I can speak from experience, being that I live here, you are giving advance notice. You are giving advance notice. So I find it very, very interesting, and sometimes I find it sickening to some extent when in every situation that people do in Nigeria, like anything that they are saying, they always say, go to places like London, they are doing it like this. So I'm like, London? How are you going to compare yourself to London, New York? How? Why? Like, serious, you never reach. You never reach. How are you going to compare yourself to these places that have taken donkey of years, donkey of policies that they do follow? Not that their lawbreakers break them, but they do follow. They pay for their fares and all those things to get to the stage that they are. And then you want to do it within 2 weeks or within a year. So here is my point. Before you make any changes, people need to be given advance notice. They need to be given alternative to something else. For example, if you're going to ban those that use motorcycle as a means of transportation or a means of business to feed their families, you need to provide an alternative. You need to give at least years in advance notice so that they can save up money. Do you know how many people have invested in this motorcycle business? Do you know how much money that people invest in this? I bet many of those people even train themselves and pay money to train themselves to become professional drivers that transport people. These are livelihoods that the government have taken away. I know I'm late in talking about this, but I still, looking at that video, it still doesn't make much sense to me. These are livelihoods that people have taken away. And that video that this lady showed, it just made sense. You see, you blind the motorcycle, you forgot the motorcycle person is feeding another family. He's bringing customers that is buying from another people, and those people are also have families that they are feeding. So how are you? And most places in Lagos, because of road issues, buses and cars cannot get to because of erosion, because of bad road. But Keke Na Pep or tricycle and Okada or motorcycle can all get there with ease. I tire. I tire. Because even I don't know. Even at that, do you see the amount of traffic that is even in Lagos, even with cars? There are certain things that I feel like I don't understand. And I think the only reason why I want to do this is because I don't understand why. I don't know if this is just a Nigerian sickness. Any single thing that they do, they'll always be comparing themselves to the Western world. Someone can sneeze and then someone say, why are you sneezing? In UK, do they sneeze like that? You don't even, most of them, I wouldn't like to use, most of them haven't even touched their feet outside of that country. Most of them haven't even touched they haven't even seen a plane to fly. They just be watching on TV and just become, oh God. Here is an example of what an organized system does. I'll give you an example. In our house, we received this what do you call it, poster, leaflet? Yeah, leaflet. What does it tell you? Road closure on Sunday the 21st of June. We received this last week or this beginning of this week. In my city where I live in, this is from Birmingham, they told us in advance. They sent this poster, this leaflet to every home, telling you in advance. This is in June. We are still in February. This is in June. In advance that there will be a road closure in July. And here they tell you the reason why there is this road closure, which is because they are doing this event, this where they race and do all those things. So it's like the Great Birmingham Run or something like that. What is this one for now? So yeah, cyclists are doing some sort of 100-mile challenge. So therefore, a road has been sectioned off for them to do this, and there has been a road closure because of that issue. And they tell you that there's even 18,000 cyclists. This is the reason why they close this road, though. They're going to close it. So they've told us in advance to let us know there is a road closure. And guess what? Even in this, I'll tell you, just in case you live in Birmingham, haven't seen it, better know. They tell you the areas that it be affected. Okay, they tell you the areas that this will be affected, what road to take and what not to take. And then they provide you with alternative. Here is the map. They show you a map of where the road the cyclist to be traveling from, and then they provide you with alternative and information for alternative routes to do. So one, they've warned you there is something taking place. They've warned you of the routes that is going to be affected, and asked you to avoid as much as possible traveling into city center for this purpose. As there will be a road closure, there are lots of road closures, and also there will be a lot of traffic congestion. Congestion on the road. There will be a lot of road block because of traffic. And then they tell you to plan in advance where you are going to be going, how you're going to get to your destination if you have to come into the city center on this very day. They tell you also at the back information of parking, where you can park, just in case if you are coming for this event as well. And they tell you what alternative routes to take and what buses. They tell you the buses, the alternative modes of transportations to take. And they even tell you the hours. They tell you the hours. Does that make sense? This is my point. So before anyone, you people start, every time you can start comparing yourself, ask yourself, have you actually been able to be this organized? As the so-called go to New York, go to this, go to Milan. No, before you start comparing yourself to these people, you need to be as organized as these people. You can't compare yourself to someone that you haven't even reached yet. Yeah, you never reach. You can aspire to be like these people, but the way you go about it, ask the people that have done it, how did they go about it? This is my own thing. I think there is this sickness of comparing yourself. Like, I don't understand it. Every single thing. I remember this clearly when I was in Nigeria. It's like any small thing, they're like, I bet in this thing they don't do it like this. Oh, I bet. I'm like, you live in Africa, for crying out loud. You live in Nigeria, for second crying out loud. Do you? Don't... I'm done. And the reason why I just said, I'm like, when he said it, the way he said it, he's like, it's so like not empathizing with people that these things have affected. It's the way he said it that even triggered me to do this video. So every single time you hear someone in a very, I'll say, uneducated or unreflective way compare themselves, start comparing Africa to the Western world. I don't care which part of the Western world. Just look at them like this. Eh? Don't say anything, because most of the time they're talking out of arrant nonsense, or sometimes they're just talking out of what they've seen. As I mentioned, it's not a bad thing to inspire and aspire to become like a place, but do not compare yourself to them if you have not reached there. It's not a race. These people have taken donkey years to get to where they are. You are still starting. You are still progressing. You are more of a bigger city than they are. You have more economical issues than they do. You haven't... There is so much more to think to this whole road Okada blocking thing. There is those people, there is other alternative places that people can go to earn. Okay, no problem. That's the only thing I wanted to say. Anyways, that's my own 2 cents. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this video.